Okay, Jack, Matthew here with freeprescriptionlenses.com, and with the help of my GoPro camera, I'm going to show you how to cut transition lenses for your Ray-Ban 2132 size 55. And by the picture you sent me, I'm judging you've got the matte black, so I will use this color to cut your lenses, but these lenses will fit any color frame. So the first thing I'm going to do is put your Italian frame into my Italian edger. It is a Santinelli LE1000 patternless edger. It is now going to trace the shape of your right lens, and then it's going to pop over and trace the shape of your left lens. And Jack, I do appreciate you being patient with me. We had an ice storm down here in North Carolina. We got a ½ inch of ice, and it caused all sorts of mayhem. I know you live up in Philly, you deal with that. You get a ½ inch of ice for breakfast and keep on going, but down here, we ain't used to it. Alright, so I'm going to pull up the shape of your lens. I'm going to put your pupillary distance in. And this is a polycarbonate lens being cut for a plastic frame. Oops, I passed it. Got to come back. Plastic. Well, this is labeled Xyle, which is an old school name for plastic. Now, your lenses are -50 at 109. And you're going to say, hang on, wait a minute. That's not what my prescription says. I'll get back to that in a minute. But -50. I spin the axis wheel on my Marco 101 lensometer to 109. I'm going to put the lens in. I've spun the power drum to -50. I rotate your lens so I find the optical center and the sphere power is clear. I now twist it to check for your astigmatism correction. Put some red dots on there. I'm going to darken that just a little bit for later on, and let's mark this right. Now let's take your left lens out of the package and spin the axis wheel to 76. There is no axis of evil here. This is the axis of good, the axis of clarity. And we're at a -1, -50 at 76. So let me do this. -1, -1, -50 at 76. We're looking good. Let's put some dots there. I want to double check one thing. Dead on. Okay, darken that and put an L for left. So, as you've seen in my other videos, I got to put that block on there so it holds it into place. I'm going to put the double-sided adhesive sticker on there. And always rotate it for the right eye, if you guys notice that. You guys picking up the details in that? And I'm going to put the second sticker on going the other direction for the left eye. So let me grab this block, put it on there. And now this little tab is pointing this way. And the first one, I do that. The second one, I do this. That also helps me tell me it's left, even though it is labeled. But sometimes with small PDs, of which you do not have one, make sure everything is lined up perfectly. Actually, let me double check one more thing on here. I'm going to pull that off. As I was yapping, I want to pay attention that is dead center in the crosshairs, and that is. So let me go over and I'm going to start cutting the right eye. Hit start. You know what's going to happen. This is going to come down and trace the shape of your right lens. You've been watching my videos. As you know, the cutting wheel is down here on the left. It feels like 5 o'clock shadow, if you can hear that on my PD stick. And this wheel in the center is going to cut the bevel onto the lens, which is your knife-like edge, or more like dull oyster shell-like edge. So it stays inside the bevel of the frame. I cleaned it up inside. I cleaned the door so when it comes down, you'll be able to see through the door. There is water running in the background. Polycarbonate lenses cut dry, and then the water cycle will kick in at the very end. Okay, let's go back and talk about your prescription, why it looks different on my end. Let me pull out your original. For some reason, I don't know how to scale on my printer, so this is what you sent me, and it makes for a great visual aid. First thing I like, the doctor just put J for your first name. Spelled out your last name, but only put J for the first name, which is the easy one to spell. For your right eye reads -1 plus 50 at 19, -150 plus 50 at 166. This is the part where in high school when you tell your algebra teacher, I'll never use algebra on the job. Well, this time I do. They get the Miss Sneeden, S-N-E-E-D-E-N, gets the last laugh on me. because yes, I have to algebraically add these. When doctors went to medical school many years ago, and you can see these are MDs and not ODs, but, oh, you did see an OD, but they may have the equipment that still writes in plus cylinder. Now in medical school, they teach you to do it in minus. Many years ago, your astigmatism correction was on the front of the lens, so that's why they did a plus. Now everything is on the back side because of the curvature. Your lens is like a bowl, skinny in the center, thicker at the edge. So this is how you algebraically add these together. You add, someone owes you $1 and they pay you 50 cents. Now this would be minus 50, which is what we have. You change the power to a minus, and you change the axis by 90 degrees, either plus or minus. You subtract or add. So minus 1 plus 50 becomes minus 50 minus 50, and we add 90 degrees, and that makes it 109. Your left eye is minus 150 plus 50 at 166. You add plus 50 to minus 150, you get minus 1 minus 50, and if you subtract 166, if you start with 166 and subtract 90, you end up with 76. Now, all the way through school, the way I would do this is I would subtract 100 from 166. That would give me 66, and then I would add 10. To me, that was easier than subtracting 90 from that. Then in my review class, before I took the state board exams, my lab teacher, who taught me for 2 years, on the very last day says, yeah, you just add these two numbers together, the 1 and 6, and that gives you 76. I wanted to cuss him out. I was like, now you tell us on the last day of school that little trick? You could have told me that on the first day and made things a lot easier. So now I will be quite shocked. Shocked, I tell you. If this actually fits. Of course, you know what's happening. I got to go put the safety bevel on my little handstone here. The 52 eye size cuts true as can be. That's what I wear. Today I'm wearing, oh, what color is this? I can never see it when I take my glasses off. Let me put mine back on. I've got the 55 eye size because I got to cut that one next. Color 6053, which is the blue and crystal, which looks great anytime I wear a pinstripe shirt and blue. For years and years and years, I wore the blue rubber, and I've worn that one into the ground. So they just came out with this color a couple weeks ago, and I jumped on it. So I'm going to tuck the lens in at the outside corner and push down. Nope, I knew it. I told you I'd be shocked if it fit. So I'm going to take it down, you know how much, 1/10 of a millimeter, and hit retouch. The golden rule, you can always make a lens smaller, you can never make it bigger. Now the 52 would have popped in there like a piece of cake. The 55 does take me longer. Sorry for the head movement there. I got a little crick in my neck I was trying to pop. I forget about that when I'm wearing a camera on my head. For those of you at home want to see what I'm doing, this is the crick I do in my neck. Sorry, Jack. Hey, this is what you get for live entertainment late in the day. It is 8 o'clock, Tuesday, March 11th, 78 degrees in Durham, North Carolina, according to my Samsung Gear watch. Now, if you notice, 78 degrees last week at this time, we're in the middle of an ice storm. I lost power for 4 days and internet for 5 days. I'm on a well. We could not flush the toilets without pouring water in there. For those keeping score at home, yes, I've got short hair. My curls are gone. I could either take a gallon of water and wash my hair in the sink before coming to work, or I could flush the toilet. So I went and got my head shaved and used, my wife says, let's use that water for flushing the toilet. Women are funny about that, you know. I just don't understand why she just doesn't go outside and find a tree. That's what all my male neighbors were doing. All right, that's TMI. I know you don't want to hear that. But life without running water. We got running water now, though, don't we? So, it's coming out. Let me dry the lens off, put the safety bevel back on there. And, of course, I'm going to cut it small enough where you'll be able to pop this lens in and out. I have this frame, the one I'm wearing. I did have a self-imposed limit of 10. When this color came out, I had to get it, so now I have 11. I pop my lens into a different color every day depending on what I'm wearing, and I'm going to cut yours so you can do the same. It did not fit. I'm going to take this down another 1/10 of a millimeter and hit retouch. Hopefully I'll do this in under the 20-minute mark. YouTube cuts off the video after 20 minutes and it becomes 2 videos. I'm going to try and get it done because I still want you to see how your lenses turn dark. So down onto the cutting wheel. Actually, the bevel wheel. Let's see if I can dry this off for you, because when that water kicks in, I'm going to have to close the door. Philly is a great town. I was up there a couple years ago for my best friend's bachelor party. Although my wife doesn't call it a party. It was a weekend. We went up there for about 72 hours. I grew up, you're going to hate this, I grew up a Steelers fan. My best friend is an Eagles fan. And we played, I think, week 4. So we went there. Since it's his wedding, he picked the date. We went to, is it RFK? What is the stadium up there now? I can't remember. But this was about 2 or 3 years ago. That's when you guys picked up 8 sacks on Ben Roethlisberger. The fans around me, I didn't even wear my colors. I know about you Philly fans. I didn't want to get hit in the back of the head with a D battery, so I didn't wear any of my colors. But the fans around me were great. Great. Of course, why not? You guys were winning. Of course you're going to be in a great mood. But if you remember correctly, they sacked the 8th sack of the day on Ben Roethlisberger. He fumbles the ball on that last-minute comeback. The crowd goes crazy, and my team loses. But it was my buddy's wedding, so hey, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? But it makes for good rivalries. I'm here in Durham, North Carolina, home to Duke University. 11 miles away, we have Chapel Hill and the University of North Carolina Tar Heels. So again, I tuck in at the outside corner, push in, almost there. I'm going to take a little bit more. But yeah, we understand rivalries here between Duke and Carolina. They just played Saturday night. And thank God I didn't have power. I would not want to watch the outcome, but Duke was victorious. They've split the season 1-1. Everyone won on their home court, but we got the ACC tournament coming up next weekend. So it keeps getting smaller. A little bit at a time. But if you ever get a second color of these in the 55 eye size, you can pop your lenses out. I'm going to show you how to do it, because for one, I'm going to show you how to pop them in. But I'm going to pop them out. We'll show you how to pop them out, and you can change the colors if you ever get a second color. Yeah, my wife's jealous. She had to get a pair of these were too big for her, even in the 52 eye size, so she got model number 9052. It's the junior Wayfarer. I got one around here somewhere. I just cut it in blue and orange for a kid. But that's the one she wears because she wants to pop her lens into a different color every day depending on what she's wearing. So the wife's jealous of me that I get to accessorize when I get dressed. All right, we're almost done with the right lens. Then the left lens is going to be a snap. Dry this off again. The safety bevel. Every time, take away those rough edges. Use my V-shaped thumbnail to scrape away the schwarf, which is the correct term for this optical sawdust. And then, hey, wipe it on the floor. I don't believe I've done that yet. I've been too busy talking. All right, tuck it into the outside corner closest to me, and with my thumbs, push it in, snaps in perfect. Let's go ahead and cut the left lens. Grab that, flip this over, and now cut the left. Now, in order to change the lenses, let me take this block off. It is no longer needed. Throw that in the trash along with this. Dry that off. Is that my cloth? It is. It's going back in my pocket. I want to go ahead and inspect your left lens. Put this to 109. Put it in over your optical center. Spin the sphere power. I'm getting minus 50, minus another 50, and we're good to go. Now the way this works, your prescription, everything is, this unit of measurement is called a diopter. There's gallons, there's pounds, there's ounces, there's other stuff, but in optical it is diopters. Everything is in quarter increments, 0.25, 0.50, 75, 1, so on. So you need 2 steps of correction in your right eye. Without your glasses on, everything is actually larger in real life than what you see. So your glasses will actually minify, even though that's not a real word. It's not in Webster's dictionary, but it's the opposite of magnify. This is your right lens on the top. So you need 2 steps of correction to minify images to make them the correct size. You need 2 steps of astigmatism correction. Now there is a stigma over the word astigmatism. It just means shape. Someone has straight hair, someone has curly hair. That is it. Your eye is not completely round. It has 2 curves on it. So this first box, this first number gets everything the correct size. The second number takes away the fuzzy edges. That's the fine tune knob. So 6s and 8s and the letters P and F don't look alike. 109, if you can think of this white line at the bottom being 0 to 180 over here, you're at 109. So this is like to fine tune to get to 109. That tells me where to clear everything up. This is an arbitrary number. It fluctuates. It really doesn't matter. The first 2 numbers are actually powers that you have. If you notice, it's still flat all the way around, and now it's putting the bevel onto the lens. So your right eye actually needs 4 steps of correction. Still only 2 steps of astigmatism. That's very, very minor. The average is around 1. Higher amounts are 2. So you need 4 steps of minification, 2 steps of clarity at 76. So that's why your lens cannot be rotated. If you had a completely round John Lennon frame and you had an eye wire screw that got loose and your lens were to rotate, if you had no astigmatism, you would still see perfectly clearly. With the astigmatism, it cannot rotate. That's why it has to be right at 109. So I'm going to tuck this back in, and let me show you how to change your lenses, should you ever want to. It's always with the thumb, it's always at the nose. To take a lens out, I turn the frame downward. I'm right-handed, so I grab the frame with my left hand. You can torque the frame, you're not going to hurt it. You're not going to hurt your unbreakable lens. But you take your thumb, I kind of pull with my fingers, I pull back on there, and I push with my thumb, out it comes. In order to put it back in, I rotate the frame back upwards, and this is what you're going to do when you receive these. You tuck it in at the outside corner, and then using your thumbs, you just push down at the nose, it'll snap right in. These are unbreakable lenses. They're bulletproof up to 22 caliber and have both UVA and UVB protection, as well as transitions that darken when you go outside. And let's see if I can demonstrate that if this fits. What time was it when I started? Hopefully we will see. Please don't cut off. Please don't cut off video. If so, you'll have a 2-part video. Alright, I'm going to scrape the swarf off the edge of that lens. Stay with me, Jack. Stay with me. I'm going to rotate this, tuck it in at the outside corner, snap down. Oops, it's still alive. It's squirming. And it snaps right in. I'm going to take this block off. I'm going to check your pupillary distance of 67. I'm going to use this card so we have a white background. I'm going to put 0 over here on your right lens, and then I'm going to measure at the left lens, and hopefully you will see 67 if my GoPro camera is good enough. If not, too bad. I got to keep going. All right, I'm out of tissue. Never fear. I got a brand new box down here. Let's go ahead and get started. Bust a new one out. And use my optical grade acetone. Now here at freeprescriptionlenses.com, when you buy the frame, you get the lenses for free clear single vision lenses. If you want anti-glare, you just pay the upgrade. If you want transitions, you pay the upgrade. Normally, this is the part of the video I'd make sure the frame is in standard alignment, but I'm sending you lenses only. So, actually, let me go back in here, check this. I'm going to find your optical center, spin the axis wheel to 76. Force of habit, I always inspect everything before I ship. Your sphere power, -1 comes in clearly. 2 steps of correction, -150, because when you add 50 to -150, you get that. So now let's activate your lenses. I'm going to put them in my little UV box that has a strong UV light. And as you can see, as the light pops on, your lenses will start to darken. Now it takes 30 to 45 seconds for them to darken when you go outside. It takes a little bit longer when you come back inside, about 45 seconds to a minute 15. They will all, transistor lenses will darken on day one, as you're about to see, but if you give them 2 weeks, they're going to continue to darken every day for the first 2 weeks till they get to their final setting. After that, you'll have years of maximum performance. The only time they will not work is if you're in a traditional car. Your windshield blocks the UV light that comes in, so it doesn't rot your upholstery or crack the dashboard, I should say. Now, if you have a car older than the mid-90s, there was no UV protection in them, and they will darken. They will darken in a convertible or a motorcycle or any car that was made before the early to mid-90s. After that, all cars started to have UV protection in the windshield. Now, they do get darker in cooler temperatures. Once it gets up in the 90s or upper 90s, they just don't get as dark as they will other than that. So that's that. Again, don't worry, they were going to keep getting darker. This is just the first time they were activated. If you really want to make them dark, put them in your fridge for about 5 minutes or your freezer, then take them outside. They'll be super dark then. But that's that. If I can be any more help, just let me know. And Jack, I really appreciate it. Anyone who's got any questions, email me at freeprescriptionlenses@gmail.com. And this is just one of the many, 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 many ways I bring that love and feeling back to glasses. Thank you.